What's up, fuckers? Episode 21, El Guero Loco Podcast. Monday morning coming at you bright and early. No, not really. Local time is 12:26 in the afternoon. That would be PM for all you individuals that can't tell time. Went to go train this morning. I get right into the fight stuff. Don't worry. Don't panic. Went to go train this morning, and as you could hear in my voice last week, I was sick, right? Still a little sick today, but what caused that sickness is, I think in open mat jiu-jitsu, I hairline fractured this rib. I'm saying I think because I don't know when I did it. I think it was jiu-jitsu. I don't know. And after you break a rib bone, probably what's going to happen is you're going to get sick, you're going to get a fever, blah, blah, blah. So dealing with that last week, tried to push through and train. And it was hurting a lot. Not really the movements. I can move pretty good, but the breathing. Your ribs here have a lot more flexibility with your lungs and something up here in your chest. And it just, I went to train early this morning, and dude, I was in significant pain. I mean, on a scale of 10, and I'm not a bitch, so 7 doesn't seem high to you, but for me, 7's fucking out, dude. That shit hurts. You know what I'm saying? It'll make you think, like, what's going on? Why am I trying to tough through this? Was supposed to have a fight February 19 in 3 weeks from now, 3.5 weeks. Don't think it's going to happen. Actually, I can almost say without a shadow of doubt, it's not going to happen. Because I could theoretically try and push through this training with the rib and make it to the fight. Maybe win, maybe lose. But it's not that I care about losing. It doesn't bother me. It's just the fact that this isn't going to heal proper and it's going to bite me in the ass later in life. Some craziness. Better to just, do the right thing, chill out, let it heal. Anyway, enough of my bull crap. Dude, what a freaking weekend. What a freaking Saturday, brother. I was pretty upset. Dude, I talk shit about the UFC Apex, but I still watch. And when it's not there, I complain. So when they do it, I complain. When they don't do it, I complain. But brother, is that not how mixed martial arts fans are? I think that's how it's the protocol on how we're supposed to do things. Just fucking complain. But needless to say, without the UFC, we had the GFL draft, which I made a video on. Pretty pathetic. One thing I forgot to mention about the GFL draft was that when the promoter, don't even know the guy's name, I'll figure it out, but don't know it right now, can't remember it. They said it, I don't remember. The skinny Dana White with the goatee. Whenever they would put him on camera, motherfucker looked so nervous to say anything. Like, I'm not saying that I'm a great public speaker either. I'm sitting in front of a camera. There ain't nobody else in here to judge me when I say some dumb shit, and trust me. We try not to do any cuts anymore here. I try to keep it a little more PG, but in the beginning, I couldn't figure it out, man. I was sitting here 4 minutes of dead space, and it was just thinking, I don't know what to say. And I'm by myself, so I can imagine on the camera, blah, blah, blah. But this guy was so nervous to say anything. Like, he was like stuttering over his words. He was very hesitant to say things with any form of his fucking chest, So bit weird. But anyway, that was Friday night. I sat through the whole thing. It was a weird event, but Saturday morning was Road to Dubai, PFL. I had the TV on, but I really only cared about main and co-main. Sorry, not sorry. Make me care. Make me fucking care. Enough said. I really only cared about the main and co-main, but it was on. I couldn't even tell you anything else that happened. Can I? No. So this was supposed to be, the Hughes Nurmagomedov was supposed to be a Bellator title fight. The last Bellator title fight. We are Nixon and Ixon the name Bellator. It is now PFL. So all the cornermen had on Bellator shirts, but the fighters had on PFL gloves. And I believe it was a Bellator belt that they handed him afterwards. If not, I mean, brother, equally as fucking stupid. Equally as stupid. So, as far as that goes, that's on the PFL. That's got nothing to do with Usman and Paul. Those two boys went out there and gave us a show. Put on a show. Absolute round of applause to both of you. You fucking absolute warriors, okay? Bit of controversy. I don't think it's controversy. I think it's a disputed win. Okay, so when they say undefeated, undisputed means you can't say nothing about it. You can't say nothing about it. Disputed, we're gonna dispute. It was close. It was very close. I think it was a lot closer than people are giving it credit for. It sounds like people think that Usman just ran away with this thing 4-1. And I even heard people saying that upon rewatch, they definitely scored it 4-1. It getting the 48-47 score because of the point deduction. Right, 45. Yeah, so 48-47, but that was a point deduction, so I don't know how Paul got. They gave Paul 2-3. It was 2-3 Usman for the 3, and then one judge had it a draw. When I watched it live, I thought it was going to be a draw. With the point deduction, I thought, okay, now we got a draw. But, nope. Usman won. Okay, fuck it. Let's be honest. I thought Paul won in the moment. But I'm a giant Dagestani hater. Okay? Listen, I don't want you guys to have bad lives, but in the sport of MMA, I'm going to fucking rag on you, alright? I'm not the biggest fan. Actually, I'm a hater. So, I think I was so biased in the fact that Paul was alive and doing stuff. You know, I guess that's a good way to put it. That I was like, oh, he won. He can get this. I also said during the fight that, listen, they're in Dubai. Ain't no way it goes to decision, and Paul is getting the decision. So, either way, PFL's greatest fight in company history went down this weekend. And honestly, I'm glad there was no UFC. Or I would not have watched that. Or I would not have watched BKFC. If there was UFC on this weekend, I would have watched that. And that would have been my event for the weekend, you know? But since there wasn't, and the PFL being in the day, the BKFC at night, if the UFC would have been at night, I probably would have tuned in for the main and co-main of PFL. But that wasn't my highlight of the weekend. Before I move on, Nemkov and the trucker, John Thompson, John, I don't even know the dude's name, brother. He said he was preparing for the Army, what do they call it? The reserve, sorry. He was preparing for reserve camp. So if you're in the Army Reserve, I believe what it is one weekend a month, you have to go do something. And then once every 6 months or once every year, you have to do like a redo PT because you're not active duty. They can't see. They don't. For all they know, you could be sitting on your couch eating fucking ho-hos and Twinkies for 6 months, a year. I don't even know what it is. But this guy was a truck driver who was getting in shape, not getting in fight shape, getting in shape for a Army Reserve PT test. Now, I've seen some of these fucking pussies that are in the Army, not the reserves, active duty. If they can pass the PT test, I mean, a paraplegic could. I've seen some really pussy-ass looking dudes in the Army. I'm like, how the fuck did you pass the PT test? Must be pretty fucking easy. So that's what he was preparing for, and it looked like it. Nemkov went out there and just outskilled. He was faster. He was more skillful. He was more prepared. It was a stupid contest. Nemkov made it look easy. That's why I'd like to see some of these light heavyweights. Bro, if you've got a guy like Alex Jiri, why go down to middleweight, even though he did only reweigh in the California at 4 pounds over? He weighed in at 204, and when they rehydrated him, When they weighed him the next day for the rehydration that LA, California State Athletic, likes to monitor, he was 4 pounds heavier than the day before. So that is pretty impressive. Maybe he could make middleweight pretty easily. But I think some of these light heavyweights, maybe Jamal, dude, you go up to heavyweight and you're just way faster than these boys. Your cardio is way better. And the skill for skill, they suck. Skill for skill, heavyweight, absolute trash. Worst division in mixed martial arts. Not just the UFC, in mixed martial arts. Okay? So, I mean, who do you have? Francis and Nemkov. And Fajita? See what I'm saying here? You see, I'm pretty fucking weak, boys. Not to mention that Nemkov is a former light heavyweight champion. So, exactly what I'm fucking saying to do, he did. Anyway, moving on to the highlight of this weekend for me. I was fucking sitting at home, nothing to do, rib hurt, trying to recover, a little sick. No UFC, perfect storm for me to check out this BKFC. So I have watched BKFC fights before. I watched Eddie Mendez, and I watched Perry Eddie. I keep tuning in for the Eddie fights. I'm not even a big Eddie fan. The reality of the situation. I'm more of a Mike Perry fan than I am an Eddie fan. And I'm not a huge Jeremy Stephens fan until this weekend. And it wasn't anything that he had done that I'm like, oh, I don't like this guy. He wasn't before my time. He was a little before my time. But at the same time, he was never top level to where I was like, oh, wow, fucking Jeremy Stephens. I think you see what I'm saying? I can't even pick out a lot of Jeremy Stephens fights in the UFC. Yair, some other 45ers, blah, blah. BKFC, Stephens has found his fucking niche, okay? Just like Mike Perry, just like Ben Rothwell, these boys were made to bare knuckle fight. I don't think I can say the same about Eddie. I think Eddie shouldn't be doing this. I don't think this is a sport for him. I think he had a great fight against Chad Mendez, but his prior two performances have been lackluster and quit on the stool both times. Just a refusal to go back out and fight because either his corner wants it or he wants it. They got a code word. He's like, oh, peaches. And they're like, okay, he's done. You know what I mean? I don't fucking know what's going on. So I can't speak on it, but I'm going to because that's what we fucking do here at El Guero Local Podcast, son. We speculate and we come up with false narratives and we put them out to the public. So maybe Eddie bitched out every time, both times. Maybe his coaches were like, nah, we're good. We're not going to win the fight. And honestly, I'm calling him a bitch, but he's not. I'm saying he bitched out. He's not a bitch. He'll kill me, for sure. He'll make me his bitch. Reluctantly. I'll do it reluctantly, but he'll probably do it. But I'm saying he, had enough. When I say bitched out, it's just because I have a foul mouth and I like to say curse words, okay? Don't take it personally. I'm a freaking güero with a camera in a small apartment. My editor is my girl, okay? And she does it half-assed because she hates listening to my videos probably more than you guys. Anyway, I just don't think that Eddie is... He doesn't need it anymore. He used to be the underground king. Belt in Bellator, belt in UFC. And he's not so underground. He looks like he's above ground now. I don't know. But regardless, it was a good 3-round scrap between the two. They were both getting after it, but once Eddie had that knockdown, I mean, he got knocked down and came up, and when he turned to go back to the ropes, he tripped on his own foot. It's weird. BKFC is like they have an MMA demographic, but it's boxing. So it caters to the MMA fans, but it is boxing. It's just a different form of boxing, different rule set of boxing. You guys don't know how incredibly bad that hurts to cough. It already feels like I have a knife right here, right? Now, when I cough, it feels like someone's just twisting, like a fucking dirt. Oh, dude, when I cough, when I'm hitting pads and I'm breathing really heavy, like taking that deep breath is like a 3 out of 10. Not much, but enough that you're like, come on, bro, I'm just breathing. You know, it's pretty annoying when you're just breathing and it hurts, but that's what I'm dealing with. Man, that hurts. And we're not cutting any of the coughs. The coughs are staying, boy. What was I saying? Jeremy Stevens. I don't know if that's what I was saying, but that's what I'm saying now. What a performance. And then Connor jumps in the ring. And I already instantly knew what the fuck was going on. Fuck, I'm sorry, guys. Because he was taking his jacket off. Why else would you be taking your jacket off unless you're about to do something, you know, semi-physical face-off, or maybe you think something, I don't know. Connor says he's going to fight Jeremy Stephens bare knuckle. We all know there's no possibility of that happening. Good for business, good for freaking YouTube Shorts and TikTok, I suppose, but not going to happen. If Dana won't let him box Logan Paul for $180, $200 million, he's not going to go bare knuckle box Jeremy Stephens for, you see what I'm saying here? Not going to happen. Having a freaking attack here in the middle of the episode. This is not good for the pod. Doesn't matter, because I can see the view duration, and nobody will watch this more than 4 minutes anyway, so all good. You're just going to sit here and listen to me cough all day, boy. Moving on down the card, we had Ben Rothwell finally capture a title, a belt, a championship. Sorry, I swear, I really am sorry. Psych, you. You gotta love seeing Big Ben capture a belt, man. And it wasn't on lack of excitement either. What a freaking knockout. This guy, what's his name? Tim? Fudge. Not a big BKFC guy. Like I said, this is my first event that I watched. First fight to last fight. And don't know who this guy is, but boy, he knocked him the fuck out. Whoo! Them heavyweights hit, brother. And it didn't even matter. I saw bantamweights fighting. And bantamweight with the BKFC is not 135. It's something else. Something else, but I don't know. Dude, these guys have no gloves on. And I feel like they're swinging harder than the MMA fighters who are wearing gloves. I swear it looks like they're swinging harder. I don't know. I can only imagine me just destroying my freaking knuckles. I know because of previous experiences, I've been in fucking street altercations before. Broken this hand like bones in the hand, not like fingers. Broken bone here, bone here, bone here. 3 separate occasions, and one in this hand, this finger, the ring finger. So, I know I'd break the shit out of my hands. But, I'm down to try, dude. I'm down to try. That shit looks mad fun. And if you pay me $50K, and I win an extra 25 if I win, brother, sign me up. Sign me up. I'd do it. I'm sure that's not what all these guys are getting paid. I'm sure you got to be a little bit favorable to get payments like that, but fuck, man. This is not good. I'm going to end the video soon because I can't keep coughing like this. But sitting down, watching the whole entire BKFC start to finish was not disappointed. I would recommend to anybody. Not any event. This was not any event. This was Knucklemania 5. So, I'm sure that they stacked it a little more than whatever they're going to do next week. Where the next event, I kept saying Julian Lane was up, blah, blah. Next time there's a Mike Perry or there's a Jeremy Stevens or something like that, I would recommend you all tune in, okay? This is where I stopped the video because I suck. I'm sorry. But, yeah. Friday I got a video. We got UFC Saudi Arabia. I don't know how to call that. UFC Saudi. UFC Fight Night in Saudi Arabia in Riyadh season. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Izzy versus Imavov, and co-main is Sharp Bullet versus Michael Venom Page. I'll get you some picks on that. I don't know how many picks I'll be able to give you. We'll go for 3. We'll do the top 3. That's who I just said, and then there's Jordanzinho Rosenstrike versus Sergey Pavlovich. My Russian's evading me today. Yeah, that's it, dude. We'll give you some picks on Fridays. Until then, I'm going to try to deal with this cough, this rib, and catch some Fortnite dubs. Guero out.